Beyond DNA, how quantum biology shapes your health. You've probably heard a story about your health. It's a simple story, and it goes like this. Everything is written in your DNA. Your body is just a complicated machine made of locks and keys. If you eat the right foods and take the right supplements, you'll find the right keys and unlock perfect health. But what if that's only half the story? What if the real engine of your health, what powers your energy, how fast you heal, and even how you age, follows a set of rules so bizarre they almost sound like magic? This isn't science fiction. It's a hidden world humming away inside every single one of your cells. This is quantum biology, and it's time you learned its secrets. Section 1. Why the old model is broken. For about a century, we've relied on the lock and key model in medicine. It's the idea that a molecule, like a hormone or a drug, has to physically fit into a receptor on a cell to do anything. It's a decent model. It gave us antibiotics, painkillers, and our basic playbook for how the body works. But it's incomplete. When we really look close, life moves with a speed and precision that the old lock and key idea just can't explain. Take enzymes. These are the tiny workhorses in your body that make almost everything happen, from digesting lunch to repairing your DNA. The old model says an enzyme has to just float around and wait for the right molecule to randomly bump into it in the perfect position. It's basically a game of chance. But the reactions in our bodies don't happen by chance. They happen at the speed of life. Some of these reactions happen so fast, they seem to defy the odds, with quantum effects providing a boost that makes them hundreds or even thousands of times more efficient. It's like the workers on a factory line aren't just waiting for parts to arrive, they're yanking them from across the room in an instant. This impossible speed isn't a mistake in our math. It's a clue that something else, something much, much weirder, is going on. Section 2. Life's Phantom Leap. The answer comes from a field that sounds like it was ripped from a comic book, quantum biology. But it's very real, and it's turning our understanding of life upside down. It's the study of how the strange, counterintuitive rules of quantum physics play a huge role in living things. For a long time, scientists thought these quantum effects could only exist in super-cold, controlled physics labs, not in the warm, wet, messy environment of a living cell. But it turns out, life figured it out. To get it, you only need to know one core concept: quantum tunneling. Imagine trying to get through a solid brick wall. In our world, your only choice is to get enough energy to climb over it. Simple. But in the quantum world, things get weird. A tiny particle, like an electron, doesn't always have to go over the wall. Sometimes it can just disappear from one side and reappear on the other. It never had the energy to climb the wall, it just tunneled through. It's like a ghost walking through a wall. This isn't a trick. It's a fundamental shortcut built into reality. And it's not just a weird quirk of physics. It's happening inside you, right now. This is the secret to the mind-boggling speed we see in biology. Section 3. Your body's quantum engine. So how does this strange phantom leap actually affect your health? It all comes down to energy. Where does your energy really come from? Not from that coffee. The true source is deep inside your cells in trillions of tiny power plants called mitochondria. They take the food you eat and the air you breathe and turn it into the energy currency of life, a molecule called ATP. This all happens on an assembly line inside the mitochondria, called the electron transport chain. For this to work, tiny particles, electrons, and protons have to move from one station to the next with insane speed and precision. And this is where quantum biology steals the show. Cutting-edge research is now showing that these particles don't just hop between stations like the old model suggested. They use quantum tunneling to take shortcuts. Protons, for example, can tunnel through parts of the mitochondrial machinery, a process that is absolutely critical for generating ATP efficiently. This quantum advantage is the difference between a cell that's vibrant and full of energy and one that's sluggish and weak. Think of it like a perfectly tuned engine versus one that's sputtering. When your mitochondria are working in that quantum sweet spot, you get tons of high-quality energy, ATP, with very little waste. That waste is known as reactive oxygen species, or ROS. But what happens when this quantum process gets sloppy? The assembly line gets leaky. It makes less energy and spews out more ROS, leading to something called oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is a major player in what we call aging. It's thought to be a key driver of the cellular damage that leads to chronic fatigue, brain fog, and many diseases we associate with getting older. In fact, studies on the accelerated aging seen in astronauts have led researchers to investigate the disruption of these mitochondrial processes as a potential cause. Your energy level, right at this moment, is a direct reflection of the quantum efficiency inside your mitochondria. Section 4. More than a blueprint. This brings us back to the DNA story. We're told DNA is the blueprint of life, and sure, in a way, it is. But a blueprint isn't a building. A blueprint is just static information. If your DNA is the blueprint, and the chemicals in your body are the raw materials, the wood and concrete, then quantum processes are the supercharged, impossibly efficient workers that actually build the house and keep it running. A blueprint is useless without the workers, and the quality of the building depends entirely on how well those workers do their job. Your DNA gives the instructions, but it's the quantum weirdness, the tunneling in your enzymes and mitochondria, that decides how quickly and how well those instructions get carried out. This is the dynamic living reality of your health that operates beyond DNA. Section 5. A new way to think about health. Thinking this way opens up a completely new world for health and wellness. It suggests we can actually influence our health at this deep, fundamental level. And this isn't just theory anymore. It's guiding new research. For example, some studies are looking into how specific frequencies of light, a technology called photobiomodulation, might interact with our mitochondria. Early evidence suggests it could help boost their efficiency and cut down on the oxidative stress that drives aging, though it's still an active area of research. We can even see ancient practices in this new quantum light. Think of things like exercise or cold exposure, small, controlled stresses that make the body stronger. From a quantum view, these are challenges that push our mitochondria to fine-tune their operations and work at peak quantum efficiency. We are just starting to figure out what's possible when we see the body not just as a bag of chemicals, but as an advanced quantum system. We're at the beginning of a revolution in health, one that connects ancient wisdom with the far edges of physics. The secrets to our vitality aren't just in our genes, but in the energy flowing through us. If you're fascinated by this hidden layer of health, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next. So, the next time you think about your health, look beyond the simple story of DNA. Remember that you are more than a machine. Your health isn't just written in a code, it's performed by an invisible quantum orchestra playing inside every one of your cells. And understanding that is the first step toward a completely new way of thinking about what it means to be well.